Hello ladies and gentlemen watching on YouTube, and welcome to Race 22 of Season 9 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the PlayStation 500 at Armory Digital Superspeedway, our third restrictor plate track of the season, and we're set for 29 laps of racing. But let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's event. Jesse Turner and Caleb Kilburn, teammates, starting in the final row. Top 10, however, Melissa Alexander gets her first pole of the season, with William Brock starting next to her in second. Row 2, Ryan Acosta, Patrick Smith. Row 3, Austin LaPlante, Arthur Xavier. Row 4, Carson Gum, Raphael Leduc. And Row 5, Dylan Young and Seth Cole. Let's get the Command 2 fire engines for the PlayStation 500 at Armory Digital.
Drivers, start your engines!
As all 40 drivers coming out of the unique pit road that is here at this track. But yeah, Armory Digital Superspeedway, definitely, in my opinion, out of the 3 restrictor plate tracks we go to every single season, this is definitely the tougher one as far as getting lanes going and trying to get to the lead, because if I recall, I think the last time we raced here, which was last season, the outside line was the preferred lane to run. The inside line did not seem to really go very many places. Maybe it's changed this season, but we did have a photo finish here last time with Seth Cole barely pulling off a victory in this race 1 year ago, or 1 season ago, I should say. But yeah, a lot of drivers looking to score their first wins of the season, or multiple wins, or even some still going for their first win in their careers. Melissa Alexander looking for her first one of the year, whereas drivers like Arthur Xavier looking for that first career victory. Some drivers looking to regain momentum that they've been losing, like Kyle Matthews. Others looking to keep momentum going, like Matt McIntyre. So many different elements, and also, despite drivers being in the back, it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. Qualifying doesn't have as much meaning at tracks like Daytona, Talladega, and here, because as long as you're in the pack in the draft and you work your way up to the front, that's all that matters. Pace car is in the pit road, and you all know what that means, as we're coming through the front straightaway right now into the tri-oval, and we are getting set for 29 laps here at this 2.6 mile plate track. Boogity, 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 let's go racing! Well, Austin LaPlante decided to take the lead early on and lead the first lap here at Armory Digital, as we're getting these crazy cool camera shots of everything going on, as it's 3-4 wide throughout much of the field. But now we got a new leader, Dylan Young, and this is one of Dylan Young's home tracks, as this is down here in Florida, as Dylan Young's still looking for his first win of the season. And quick freeze for just a moment, I had to pull up the point standings, as Dylan Young actually comes into this race 16th in points, and he's been trying to get back into the top 10 in points ever since he dropped out several races ago. He's been slowly reeling his way back into the mix, but he's still got some work to do. Perhaps tonight could be the night he finally comes through with something major. But William Brock currently leading the way here at Armory Digital, and he started second, I believe, so he now finally gets up to the front. And drivers already making strides to get up here into the top 10. That started in the second half of the field. I see drivers like Henry Sanford starting to quietly work their way into the mix. But look who's up at the front. A driver who's been slowly climbing his way up through to try and get into the top 30 in points. Cole Deaver. And Cole Deaver actually comes in 45 points outside of 30th. And he's missed 6 races this season. So he's been slowly weaving his way into trying to get into the top 30 in points, which would be important to get locked into races. And right now he's holding off teammate William Brock as well as Carson Gum and Ryan Acosta, who are all hanging on up here in the top 5. And how about this? 3 wide, 4 wide even, as Joey Parkhill, who started outside the top 10, trying to get into the picture, and he's trying to stay ahead of 30th in points as he's the danger zone 30th place driver in the standings. Dylan Young barely led that lap at the line as he got that big push from Joey Parkhill, who in turn was getting pushed by Jessica Shelton. And speaking of Shelton, she moved up 5 spots in the points after a very solid run at Michigan back on Friday, up to 14th in points, but she still got some work to get back into the top 10 in the standings, as Sheldon has come close a couple of times to winning races. She just hasn't been able to pull it all together. And I see 5 wide back here. I'm going to go to helicopter view and watch and see how this is going to unfold. They settle it out to 4 wide for the time being, which is good. Although up ahead I see Ryan Acosta and Melissa Alexander, a couple of cars leaning on one another. Not sure why they do that, and Dylan Young went way up into the outside and into the wall, actually. Got into the outside wall a little bit. I guess he was trying to give room, or something's up with his car. But he's losing a ton of steam now, as he's fallen from second to probably outside the top 20 by now. All in one fell swoop, and that's because he's just had something go wrong with the car, but now he's picking it back up and trying to rebound and regroup. Back up at the front, Cole Deaver still up here at the front of the field trying to hold off everybody. And he's going to lead this lap, but now here comes Melissa Alexander, who didn't get to lead lap number 1 as she was passed by the 48 of Austin LaPlante on lap 1. Now she's wanting to get up here and get that valuable bonus point for leading a lap. But as I said, next season the points structure is going to be a whole lot different. A whole lot different. And like I said, instead of it being 1 point per position, it's going to be 5 points per position, but with a 10-point gap between first and second, but with possible 15 bonus points, 5 for leading a lap, 5 for leading the most laps, and 5 for getting the pole. So you could at any given race get a maximum of 215 points in a race, which would be quite something to say the very least. But Joey Parkhill actually led that lap as he got that push from his wife, Melissa Alexander, but now Melissa says, well, honey, you led a lap, now it's my turn to lead a lap. But let's go to helicopter view and watch and see what lane's going to prevail. Oh, it's going to be 4 wide. Actually, look at this. In the top 5, all 3 Zev Bellringer Enterprise drivers, Melissa Alexander, Joey Parkhill, and Alyssa Drayson, hanging out up here at the front of the field, kind of working together a little bit, but they need to get to the bottom if they really want to make noise, as William Brock, who got pushed by Carson Gum, trying to get back into the lead, and oh, it's going to be 5 wide. We're going to stay on this because I don't know if this is going to pan out well. Actually, a few cars end up getting a little bit loose and into the outside wall. I see Alexander Rowe, Jesse Turner, and Trey Wright got the wall. I think that might have been the case of what happened with Dylan Young just a moment ago. And speaking of Dylan Young, look at how much he can rebound. He's last scored in 10th. He's working his way back. working his way back into the picture as he was getting pushed by Patrick Smith. He's actually around two of his teammates, Zachary Fitzwater and Stuart Campbell. And Zachary Fitzwater is way ahead of points leader Scott Groverston, so this could be a huge points night for Zachary Fitzwater if he can finish well ahead of the 42 car. But because he's stuck on the outside lane, it's not going to be a good thing for him. And I'm looking at the scoring. Melissa Alexander did lead the last lap, so she finally gets that point, but now it's 3 wide for the lead with Quentin Moore in the middle. And Cole Deaver, he's unshakable. He's been up here in the top 5 virtually all race so far. I wouldn't be surprised if that 3 car manages to pull off the W here tonight, because he has been up there in the top 5 all race long. And I think has led the most laps so far here in the race, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot considering how much the lead changes here. Going back to helicopter view to watch this 5 wide scenario settle down, as Deaver still trying to get clear of the 78 but has no draft help whatsoever. And in fact, the closest help he could have gotten was Alyssa Drayson, as she split the gap to go 3 wide on the bottom underneath the 3, but didn't quite keep the momentum going considering she too didn't have draft help. Quentin Moore pulling down to the inside line to make a move on the 78. Can he make it work though? He doesn't have any help, so and that's also going to be the other thing too. You need to have all the help you can get, whereas unlike with Daytona and Talladega where you could probably get away with making a pass by yourself in the inside or outside lane, here it is vital to have drivers right on your tail to give you that push, otherwise you are not going to do very well. But back up front, Cole Deaver takes the lead back, but Alyssa Drayson to the inside to try and get the lead for herself, and if she can lead this lap, all 3 Zev Bellringer Enterprise drivers will have led a lap here tonight at Armory Digital, but it's going to be 4 wide. Well, I thought it was going to be 4 wide for the lead, and Drayson couldn't quite make it stick, so Deaver still led that lap. But Drayson's still there to the inside, and now she's trying to pull down in front of teammate Melissa Alexander to get that extra push, but Melissa is one to get up there by herself as well. I love going to the helicopter camera to watch and see what lanes end up prevailing, and the outside lane, because of just more cars being up there, helps for Cole Deaver to keep the top spot. But Drayson's still working hard on the inside to try and get the lead for herself, but she needs that push, and a big one at that, and she's about to get it from Melissa Alexander, but still doesn't get to lead the lap. Alyssa Drayson still hunting down her 2nd win of the season. Although, are we under caution? Yeah, we're under caution. Oh, Trey Wright with severe damage to his car and smoking. Jordan Lopez was in it. Daniel Bichard, who had just won at Michigan. Charles Belding, Ryan Acosta was in it. Daniel Voiles looks like he was involved. Was Rafael LeDuc involved, perhaps? Maybe Caleb Kilburn, Jesse Turner could have been in it. So it looks like a multi-car incident. Maybe some damage to the 83 of Chris Dollarton. And it looks like right there on the back straightaway, a multi-car accident has broke out here at Armory Digital. But because there will be no pit stops in this race, nothing's really going to change. So Cole Deaver leads here at Armory Digital. Let's take a look at the replay to see what brought the caution out for the first time tonight here at Armory Digital. Well, this is going to be a very, very, very wacky crash we're going to witness, as we're going to go to helicopter cam to watch and see how this all unfolds. Right there, contact between Ryan Acosta and Daniel Voiles up the racetrack into Dollarton, who went up on 2 wheels. And then Bichard, watch Bichard, right there, he gets hit by Rafael LeDuc just slightly, but it ends up sending the 19 for a wild, wild ride. It's been a while since we've seen a massive barrel roll like this, and he's just going to keep going and going all the way down the back straightaway. Crazy long roll up into the inside safer barrier and going side over side, end over end, and just continues to go. This might have been the record breaker for the most barrel rolls in one crash in the Marvel Studios Cup series. I know we had one that went over 30 times back in the Walmart Cup days. I don't know if this topped it. It might have come close, but finally, after taking a brutal ride, Daniel Bouchard finally landed on all four tires. But we're going to try our best to count the amount of flips the 19 took. So we're going to go super slow-mo for this and keep count, because I want to see if this was a record breaker. So yeah, just that little hit from Leduc is what got him up. So let's begin the count. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So not quite the all-time in this channel's history record, but the record in this series for sure. 25 rolls he ended up taking as a result of all this. But let's go to helicopter view and kind of try and find anybody else involved in all this and how certain other cars got damaged. So there's where Belding got his damage. Now let's see about Trey Wright, because I saw his front end got completely mangled. Or it looks like it had already happened. Or no, it hasn't happened yet. So how does Trey Wright end up getting the front end damage he sustained? Oh, right there, he just barely T-bones the 10 of Ryan Acosta as he was trying to get back going. Right there, that was a pretty big hit from the 33 into the 10. And there you see the 19 still going wild. But, yeah, the big one here at Armory Digital that's going to take out quite a number of cars. Especially Daniel Bouchard, who had just come off of a huge win at Michigan, only to come back and experience probably the worst crash we've had all season. But let's take a look, or actually let's take you to the restart here at Armory Digital. Well, surprisingly, only 3 drivers involved in that crash are out of the race, and they include Charles Belding, Daniel Bouchard, and Trey Wright. So those 3 are out. We still got 37 on track, but probably only about 30 of those are going to be up to speed. But anyways, Cole Deaver is your race leader. And then how about this for teamwork? 2nd, Alyssa Drayson. 3rd, Joey Parkhill. 4th, Melissa Alexander. So all 3 Zev Bellringer Enterprise drivers have been running very strong here up here in the top 5 for the past 10 laps. Can they make it stick? We'll see. As anyways, 5th, Stuart Campbell. 6th is Austin LaPlante. 7th is Arthur Xavier. 8th, Jessica Shelton. 9th, Patrick Smith. 10th, Dylan Jacobs. 11th, William Brock. 12th, Seth Cole. 13th, Quentin Moore. 14th, Dylan Young. 15th, Zachary Fitzwater. 16th, Mitchell Collins. 17th, Jonathan Zorline. 18th, James Qualls. 19th, Kyle Matthews. 20th, Carson Gum. 21st, Keith Miller Jr., 22nd, Jay Jefferson, 23rd, Jordan Forbes, 24th, Ashlyn Boyd, 25th, Dylan Poteet, 26th is Matt McIntyre, 27th, Scott Groverston, 28th, Michael Norman, 29th, Chris Dollarton, 30th, Henry Sanford. 31st, Alexander Rowe. 32nd, Caleb Kilburn. 33rd, Rafael Leduc. 34th, Jordan Lopez. 35th, Daniel Voiles. 36th is Jesse Turner. And then 37th is Ryan Acosta. Pace car is in pit road, and we will be getting set. It will be 12 laps to go. Still got plenty of time for drivers to make some noise and get that W. But Cole Deaver's been almost the unstoppable force in this race, as he is determined to get his first win of the season. But the green flag is waving now. We are back underway here at Armory Digital. 12 laps to go. Already now, Alyssa Drayson pulling down to the inside. If she can get a teammate to help her complete the pass. Let's watch Joey Parkhill pushing the 87, but Melissa Alexander got forced up into the outside lane and is now having to push Cole Deaver. And Stuart Campbell trying to break up that tandem of Parkhill and Drayson. Although Drayson's got the advantage right now going into turn 3. Can she clear Deaver off of 4? But she's also got Stuart Campbell to the inside, as Campbell's searching for his first win, not just of the season, but his first win in a long time. But Cole Deaver, I don't know how he's doing it. He manages to use the outside lane to keep the spot, and he still leads here at Armory Digital. But it's 3 wide for the lead between Deaver, Drayson, and Campbell. Joey Parkhill kind of got tired of being stuck and not making any momentum. Thought to go to the bottom, but he ends up losing a couple spots because of that, because he had nobody to go down there to help him at all. But now Melissa Alexander going to try and push Alyssa Drayson to the lead. Can she clear the 3, though? Yes, she does. So Drayson to the lead, but Melissa Alexander wants to get into the spot. Stuart Campbell still there on the very bottom. But Alyssa Drayson finally leads the lap here at Armory Digital, making all 3 of the teammates out of XBE leading at least 1 lap. Melissa Alexander wants to get her first win of the season, but Stuart Campbell not only looking, like I said, for his first win of the season, but his first win in his comeback, as it's been a long time since he's been in the victory lane. I believe back in Season 4 or Season 5, whenever he was last racing with us, back when he was known as Dorian Face Puncher. It had been a while since he's managed to win a race. But can he pull it off? But meanwhile, it's ladies battling for the lead. Jessica Sheldon feels it's go time to try and get up to the front. And actually, we got all ladies up here in the top 3. Melissa, Jessica, and Alyssa all battling it out. But look at Dylan Young. And actually, Young Motorsports starting to make their presence known up here at the front here in the later stages of the race. All 4 drivers up here in the mix, although Mitchell Collins, who you see in that bright yellow car on the bottom in the 22, kind of lost a lot of momentum as nobody went with him on the bottom. But the other 3 of Campbell, Young, and Fitzwater trying to work their way into the picture to kind of break up all the parties that are going on up here at the front. But Jessica Sheldon currently holding on to the race lead, but Dylan Young is not giving up easily as he's trying to insert himself into this fight. And even others starting to get into the picture. Arthur Xavier, who we haven't talked about all night. Dylan Poteet is up here. Keith Miller Jr., Kyle Matthews. A lot of new contenders trying to weave their way into everything. Although, going to go to helicopter view because I thought something was about to happen back here, but no, we managed to keep it together. But a lot of drivers lost a ton of steam running that bottom lane by themselves, like Fitzwater and company. And look at Poteet. Poteet with that push from Arthur Xavier. Poteet looking for his first win of the season and to extend on his wins total, as I believe coming into this race, I believe he's the second most winningest driver in the history of this series behind Dylan Jacobs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Poteet now to the front, but did not have enough momentum to clear Sheldon, as Sheldon's coming up fast with that push from Dylan Young, but they will be catching the very slow car of Jordan Lopez. Which lane is he going to hold up? Oh, he's going to hold up Shelton. He's going to hold up Shelton, and the top 3 have broken away. 3 legends now up here in the lead. Poteet, Matthews, and Young, all up here in the top 3. And I brought up at the onset, Kyle Matthews had been on a bit of a inconsistency streak, fell out of the top 5 and points down to 18th. He could rebound in a big, big way and pick up the win here tonight to get his 2nd win of the season. He's there to the inside of Poteet. But Dylan Young going to stick it out with his pal, Dylan Poteet. The Dylans working together. But this is not what the top 3 want, because look who's coming back. The rest of the pack, led by Sheldon, Drayson, Melissa, Stewart, Fitzwater, among others, as they have now caught back up into the battle. But Dylan Poteet hanging on right now in the lead. But can he keep it, as it's now 5 laps to go? And I see even more new contenders coming up into the mix. James Qualls is up here as well. Jonathan Zorling, Jordan Forbes, Carson Gum, Cole Deaver trying to come back. We're seeing a lot of different scenarios start to play out a little bit as I'm watching everything go down. A couple of cars ended up losing the main pack. Points leader Scott Groverston being one of them, so that's going to hurt him big time in the point standings. And then we got this second group of cars led by Patrick Smith right now. I'm not sure what spot this is. We're going to find out on the scoring. 20th, so 20th on back to probably about 30th are all in this pack together, as they just lost so much momentum. And then 19th, Caleb Kilburn, who was involved in that big one, he's coming back to try and get a decent enough finish. Melissa Alexander apparently led the lap, and now Alyssa Drayson to the lead, but here comes Jonathan Zorling to the inside. Zorling still looking for his first win of the season, and he got a huge push from James Qualls. Keith Miller Jr., who has been on a roll as of late, 2 wins, 3rd best average finish out of anybody this season, looking to get his 3rd win of the season and 6th overall for Toyota Racing Development. He's in the mix. So many different scenarios could play out here. 3 wide, Zorling, Matthews, and Qualls. But it's going to be Zorling with that big push from Melissa Alexander going to keep the spot for the time being. As Zorling trying to hold everybody back, and wait a minute, do my eyes deceive me? That second group of cars actually made it back up here into the big pack? How in the world is that possible? I thought they were done for. They were so far back. But no, they're up here. The top 30 going to be the ones to settle it out, but realistically it's going to be probably about like 12, as it's now 2 laps to go and things are getting really dicey up here. James Qualls going to the inside. Cole Deaver went way too low on the track, and it's going to cost him a ton of momentum. I think that's going to take his chances away, as meanwhile it's still a hornet's nest up here at the front fighting it out. I got a feeling we could be in for an amazing finish if we stay green on the final lap. But Carson Gum, another guy who's been on a momentum streak, he's trying to get his first win of the season. James Qualls trying to rebound from a struggling season. Now he finds himself in the lead, but Patrick Smith looking for his first win in a while. White flag is out. And how about Mitchell Collins, who was stuck in that second group a little bit ago? He's now up here in the mix looking for his first win of the season. So much can happen, but Patrick Smith currently up in the catbird seat. But here comes Alyssa Drayson with a run to the inside, and they're going to be approaching Ryan Acosta. Which lane is Acosta going to hold up? He's going to... Oh, he kind of held up Patrick Smith a little bit. That might have been enough for Alyssa Drayson to seal the deal. But it ain't over till it's over. Drivers coming out of 4 trying to make momentum work. Oh, Kyle Matthews really trying. Holy crap, it's going to be close. Checkered flag waving. Photo finish at the line again, but it was Alyssa Drayson by a bumper. Just barely. Alyssa Drayson wins the PlayStation 500 at Armory Digital in a photo finish. Man, this season we've had a lot of photo finishes, and I am very happy about that. Holy cow, that was an amazing battle. Wow. Man, if Matthews had maybe made that move a little bit sooner, he might have been able to pull it off. But nonetheless, Alyssa Drayson gets her second win of the season, and she gets it here at Armory Digital. But let's look at the rest of the results. Again, Kyle Matthews, had he made that move a little bit sooner, I think he would have probably gotten the win by a bumper, just like we saw. But nonetheless, great comeback run for the 09 team. Zachary Fitzward, this is going to be a huge points day for the 12 as he finished in third, and I have a guess as to where the 42 of Groverston, Scott Groverston that is, where he finished. But anyways, Mitchell Collins with a phenomenal run in fourth, and that's only his second top 5 of his career. And then Patrick Smith, who had the lead on the last lap, but got held up by Ryan Acosta, and I feel that's what cost him the win right there. But still, great run in the 5th spot. Keith Miller Jr. continuing a top 10 streak, finishing in a strong 6th place run. Caleb Kilburn rebounds after a lackluster Michigan to finish in 7th. Jonathan Zorline, great run in the 8th spot. Cole Deaver, who was arguably the dominant car of the night, still great run in 9th. And then Dylan Young with a solid 10th place run to round out the top 10. Then there is your top 20, top 30, and then the bottom 5 for this week were Ryan Acosta, Jordan Lopez, Charles Belding, Daniel Bouchard, and Trey Wright. So, with all that said and done, thank you guys for watching this amazing event here at Armory Digital Superspeedway and a classic finish. We will meet again this Wednesday for the next race, but until then, here is Alyssa Drayson's burnout and point standings heading into the race on Wednesday. And this is Levi McIntyre signing off.